Welcome, everybody. My name is Advent. I am not a financial advisor. Everything that we go over in today's class is not financial advice. It is just for educational purposes only. Today, we're going to be going over TradingView 2024 version. This is specifically for the desktop version, not the web version, although they essentially have the exact same features. Just the desktop version is a little different with some things here and there. So like I mentioned, not like probably like a minute ago before I started recording, we're going to go over the top section first, the left side, the bottom side, and then the right side, just to keep everything uniform. And in the recording, I'll split the video in those quadrants, so it's easier for you guys to find stuff. So starting out with the top section here, this is going to be where, and the left side a little later. On the top left side, starting from up here, right here next to your icon of your user, there's going to be a little search bar. This is where you're going to be looking for your ticker. The ticker is essentially whatever stock you're looking to trade, whether it's futures, options. They pretty much have everything here. Futures, stocks, Forex, so on and so forth. And all you have to do, keeping it super simple, just type in whatever you're looking for. Let's say you want to look up Apple, or let's say you want to look up SPY. And then you just click on the ticker, and then it brings up the chart. Something to pay attention to when you're looking these things up, as you can see here, when I looked up SPY, you're going to get a lot of different versions, as we can see here. So what you're going to specifically be looking for is the ETF version for the New York Stock Exchange, because that's what we're trading. I believe these are like different country stock exchanges. So if you click on this one, let's say by mistake, this is not the New York Stock Exchange, and this is not what we're trading. So just keep in mind on the right side here to make sure you're trading the New York Stock Exchange, or if you're trading the NASDAQ, you know, pretty much the American ones. You'll see the little American flag. So you know that you're on the American version. So just keep that in mind. Now, second part right up here, the little plus icon, you can click that to compare different symbols. So if you want to compare, let's say what SPY is doing compared to QQQ, when you bring up the compare symbol, you just click on the symbol you want to compare. And then whatever symbol you're comparing, it's going to show up as a line graph like this. Personally, I don't use this at all, but still a cool feature if you want to compare multiple tickers, and you can do a bunch of them. It doesn't just have to be one. Like here we have gold, SPY, which is the candles, and then QQQ, which is the line chart down here. And I believe if you right click on it, it'll bring this up so you can change the color of it if you want it to be a little different. And then just to remove them, when you come back into the compare symbol, just click the check button, and then it goes back to just whatever it is that you're looking at. Next section, pretty straightforward. This is the time frame section. So each number here or letter is signifying the time frame that you're on. And whatever is highlighted in blue is the current time frame that you're on. So for example, if we're looking here on SPY, right now this is the 1 hour time frame. So each bar that's listed here is essentially 1 hour's worth of data. So let's say you want to look at the weekly, we're just going to go to the weekly time frame, and where it says W. Now each candle here is represented by a week's worth of data, and so on and so forth. Now, if you're using the premium version, or you're using like a paid version of TradingView, if you click on this little down arrow right over here, they give you more options, but also you can make a custom time frame. So where it says add custom interval, let's say you want to do a 2-day chart. So you have here 2-day. Oh, whoops, I already have that. Let's say 3-day chart. So now I have the 3-day chart. And then if I wanted to show up on this quick bar, I just have to favorite it like this. So now it's just quickly accessible from the top. So I just click on 3-day, and now I have my 3-day chart or 3-day time frame chart. They have it in ticks as well for whoever trades in ticks. I don't do that personally, but again, pretty straightforward. You can customize however many time frames you want, the customizable ones anyway, with this section here. The next portion, this little bar right here, this is for your candles. So if you don't like solid body candles, how I have mine, you can just click up here. You can go to hollow candles, and they're hollowed out if that's more of your aesthetic. Same thing if you just want to see volume candles. I've never used this, so I can't tell you about it. There's line, graph instead, and then so on and so forth. Akenashi or Henny candles for those who love those, and other ones there. But generally, I always just have mine on the candles, the regular candles. Next section, indicators. So in this section here, you'll be looking for whatever indicators you may want. Let's say if you're looking for VWAP, you'll just type it in, and there's going to be a lot of different ones. So you just have to make sure that whichever VWAP you're looking for, you make sure it's the correct one. For those who trade the Strat, all you have to do is look up Strat Assistant. The specific one that most or all of us use is the one by Ricky's Carroll right over here. And then when you click on that, it'll be added to your chart. So let's say once you add a indicator to your chart, what's going to happen is it's going to appear on your chart, as we can see here when I added the scanner. And right down here, these little lines, it's going to show you all the indicators that you have up. And we'll go over this section in a little bit. Actually, we'll just go over it now because we're on indicators. So when you bring down the indicator list, when you highlight over it, it's going to give you different options here. So if you want to show the indicator, the little eyeball icon, you can just quickly hide it. The little like was a hexagon? Should be a hexagon, if I remember my math class correct. Click on settings, and it's going to bring up the settings of that specific indicator. And then in here, you can pretty much customize it to whatever you want. When you add the Strat Assistant indicator, it might look ugly with these candle colors. You could just turn it off like this, or you can keep it on and just edit it, customize it to whatever you want in the list that comes up. Pretty straightforward stuff. And if you want to favorite the indicator, when you highlight over it, just click the little add to favorites. So it could just show up here in your favorite list. And it'll have all the ones that you have favored in that list. Easy stuff. And then the little drop down right next to indicators, that'll just be your favorite list. So if you quickly want to go between different indicators that you have. Then this section here, right next to it, where it says indicator templates, this is essentially, you can make different templates of indicators. So let's say you just want to have one that has Strat and volume and the SATI ATR, and that's it. You would go up here, save indicator template, just name it whatever you want so you don't forget what it is, and it'll tell you what indicators you have saved. So then you can just go ahead and quickly just go to whatever setup you have, instead of just manually adding them, removing them, and just customizing the list. It's just all in one click, and it has all the ones that you want listed there. Easy enough. And then it'll bring up a little thing here that'll have the indicator list that you have. So next section. Raul, those questions I'm not answering in today's class because this is just for Tradingview. I'm not going over anything related to strategy. The alert section, this is pretty much where your alerts are going to be. You can just click on that icon. You can pretty much whatever ticker you're on right now, you just have it set up to whatever you're looking for. So if you want the, let's say right now, SPY is at 563.68. If I wanted to alert me when it's at 564, you can just put the price there. And then you can designate it to do specifically, whether it's crossing up, down, or just crossing in general. Usually I just have it set to crossing because I just want to know when it's going up or above that level. If you want it to only let you know when it's going above it, just hit crossing up. Or if it's below, crossing down. But generally, I just use crossing because it just takes both of those in one. You can also have it for, let's say, if you are a trader that likes to see when stocks move a specific amount. So you can put, let's say, SPY moving up a specific percent. Let's just say if SPY moves up 2% in 1 bar or 2 bars or whatever it may be, you can customize it that way. One thing to note, if you have this set to every time, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have it set to every time, you're going to get 1 billion alerts and notifications. So keep that in mind. If you want it to alert you only once, or if you want it to alert you every single time it breaks that level. I made the mistake of doing this, and I came back to 200 notifications on my phone in less than 2 minutes. So keep that in mind. So you can set it up here to when you want it to expire. Pretty straightforward. If you never want it to expire, just make sure to enable the open-ended alert. But if you want it to expire, let's say 5 days from now, you can do that. And then you can just make the alert name. Let's say SPY crossing above 564, and then you name it whatever you want. And you can also put a message here to remind yourself of why you put that there. So maybe you want to see like, all right, look for SPY calls or whatever it may be above this level. And then you can be like, all right, maybe I want to also remind myself what strike price I want. Strike price, I don't know, 570 or whatever it may be. Then you create that, and now it's added to your alert list, which is going to be over here, but we'll get to that a little later. And then I'll have the alert listed there. And then the replay, the bar replay, I believe this is a premium feature. They may have added it to free. I don't remember. But essentially the bar replay, as the name suggests, you can pretty much go back in time. So let's say I want to back test the strategy. Let's say I want to see what happened at market open. So I'll go to bar replay. And let's say I want to go back to the beginning of Friday to see what happened. And then you can set the speed up here, how fast it is. And then just hit play. And then it'll start printing the candles one by one. And then you can see how it panned out on whatever it is that you're looking for. And of course, you could just fast forward to specific candles like this if you wanted to. However you want to set it up. But that's pretty much the bar replay. Pretty straightforward. If you want to go to current present time, right down here, just jump to the real time. And they'll go back to current, where it's at currently. Make sure if it's highlighted, that means you're still in bar replay mode. So make sure to turn that off when you're done using it. Next section is pretty much going to be the chart layout setup. So right now I only have one box or one chart setup, as we can see here with the one box right there. So when you click on this icon, it's going to bring up all these different options that you have. So let's say you want to have 4 charts. We can go to the 4 chart section right here, and then we can just click on any of these options that they have set up. So if I just want 4 even squares, I'll just click on that. And then now I have 4 even squares set up here. And you can pretty much customize this to whatever you want. If you want just 3 horizontal or vertical, if you want 3 horizontal, pretty much whatever you want, honestly. Now, something that's cool, let's say you want to look at 2 different stocks. So before I go into that, in the layout setup, where it says sync in layout, if you have this set up, it's going to have all four charts in the, it's going to have all four charts with the same ticker, as we can see up here. So when we click up here, a little layout setup, you're going to click on whatever setup you want. It's going to bring up the boxes that you selected. So if you want to have more than one ticker, or even three tickers or four, or however many charts you want, one thing that you want to look at is that when you're highlighting the stock that we have up here, there's going to be these different little icons like this, where it says flag the symbol as, or symbol chart interval syncing. So if I want SPY only on the left side, I can click on this icon next to the flag symbol, and I can choose, it looks like only 5. I don't think they have more than that. So if I want SPY, let's say, to be synced to the yellow diamond, I'll click on that. And then I also come down here, click, make sure that's the yellow diamond as well. So now let's go to the 4 hour. So I have my 4 hour on SPY down here, and then the 5 minute up here. So let's say I want to look at IWM, but I don't want it to change the charts on the right side. So now only these charts are synced up because I have it synced up to the chart syncing with this icon. For Apple, I have it synced up to the clover leaf, or the 4-leaf clover. So if I want to look at something else here, let's say I want to go look at QQQ. So I have it like this. And you can set this up to however you want. So if I want only one chart of QQQ, and then let's say one chart of IWM, I just sync it up to whatever it is that I'm looking for. So I can have it set up like this, or whatever combination you want. You can customize it to your liking. And then the sync in layout, I always have the interval not synced up because I want each chart, when I'm setting it up, to have different time frames. If you have the interval synced up, they're all going to be the same time frame when you switch over, which I don't want. Next section, this is going to be your layout. So in this section here, the little drop down, you can manage your layouts. So let's say if you want to, so this one I have X Magic. That's just what I call mine with the 4 charts. You can create a new layout, and then you can name it whatever you want. Let's just say, let's go to 2 real quick. So let's say I want this layout to be named something else. Let's just say SPY QQQ. And then we'll save that. So now I have the SPY and QQQ layout set up. Or if I want to go back to what I had before, you can just quickly go in between the different layouts. So I have my 4 here, my 2 down there. Pretty straightforward. Next section here, this is just to look to search, like a quick search for different functions. So if you want like a drawing tool to remove drawings, or you want, let's say, a line tool, and it'll give you all the line tools or whatever it is that you're looking for, or Fibonacci or Fib retracements, whatever it is that you're looking for. Can the layout be shared? Absolutely, Sarah. So you can export or make a copy or export. I believe it's if you make a copy and then you export the chart data, and then you can send it to somebody. You can send it to somebody, and then from there, it'll just set everything up as you have it on yours as well. Next section right here is the chart settings. So this is pretty much where you can customize the look of your chart. If you want there to be like hollow bodies or filled up bodies, if you want borders to be there, if you want the wicks to be there. The session is going to be here for if you're looking at New York session or extended hours and your time zone. Make sure your time zone is where you live because you're going to throw yourself off. The status line, this will give you, I believe the status line, I've never necessarily looked at this that much, but this will give you like the chart values, the numbers here, the logos of the chart. I turned mine off in another section, but the logo, if you have that off, it'll be like right up here, whereas the logo of the stock, so you can turn that off. You can turn off the title if you don't want to look at that, which to me is a little silly. I don't know why you wouldn't want that. But you can customize it if you just want the ticker, or if you want the ticker and the description, the chart values, which is up here, the open, high, close of the candle, the bar change value, which is the percent change, and the dollar and the amount change. Volume, you can have that there too. I don't use volume, so I just have that off. And the last change, the difference between the previous day, and so on and so forth. Cool. And then scales and lines, this is just where you'll see essentially different features like when you're on the chart itself. So let's say, for example, the plus button, which you guys can see on the right side of my chart, the little plus icon. I usually use this to quickly set alerts on a specific price that I'm looking for. And then the countdown to bar close, let me go to Bitcoin because it's live right now. So we're on the 5-minute, we have 3 minutes and change until this turns off. So going back to the chart settings, if I turn that off, it's not going to tell me when the bar is going to close. I personally need to know when it's going to close, especially as a strat trader. So I always have that on. And then you have other features here where the high and lows can be marked off. If you're looking at pre-market data, you can have different colors set up. When I have my extended hours on, I just have one specific color. I don't like looking at different colors just to keep my chart clean, but you can customize this to pretty much whatever you want. And then the format, however you want that to be set up in the date format, as we can see on the bottom left of my chart, where it says Saturday, 31st, August 24, and the time. And you can just customize it to however you want this to look. Canvas, pretty straightforward. This is the way you want your charts to look. You can have a gradient, solid color, pretty much customize this to your liking. You can bring up the little plus icon to make it a very specific color that you want and just change the colors like that. The grid lines, I have all of mine off because I don't like looking at the grid lines personally. It kind of just adds too much noise to the chart. I'd rather have everything as clean as possible. Then the watermark, that'll show like the stock chart, Bitcoin, time frame you're on. So if you've been wondering how to turn that off, in the chart settings, canvas, watermark, turn that off. And then the text, you can customize this if you want it bigger, if you want it smaller, whatever you like, and so on and so forth. For the trading tab, we'll go over this a little later on when I go over like actually trading with the application, but you can have different things set up here. I'm not going to go too deep in right now because I'm going to go into more detail later on when we actually do start taking some paper trades going over this. And then events, these are pretty much just be like on the chart, you'll see it down here. The like Thunderbolt icon with little icons down here. And then you can customize if you don't want to see that, if you do want to see that, the economic events that are going to show up, so on and so forth. And you can have little lines to show you when the event is going to happen. I don't have this because I already know what time is going to show up, but if it helps you visually, hey, definitely go for it. And you can set up different templates up here. So if you want, let's say, all these settings to be for something very specific, you can come down here to the template and then just save it as whatever it is that you want. So you can have like different color schemes set up there. This right here, just full screen mode. So it kind of just gets rid of all the all the information on the left side, like the tools, the tabs, and all that stuff. So it's just a clean chart. I want to emphasize this specific section here because I see a lot of people taking pictures of their computer of TradingView and posting it in the chart. This is just me being me and a little pet peeve. Click on the camera icon, click on copy image, and just copy paste the image in the chart or in the chat, as I just did in 100K's group in the active options section. So for me, please stop taking pictures of your chart and just use this feature and just post a clean chart for all of us to see. Anyway, this section here, like I mentioned, you can copy your image. You can download the image if you want to, mark it up and download it to the computer, what have you. You can copy the link to your chart if you want to share it with somebody. If you have X or Twitter, for those who remember the old name, you can quickly just send the chart as a Twitter post or X post if you use that. When you publish, the publish button, this is essentially just if you want to publish something to TradingView's community where other people that use TradingView can see it. I probably used that like once and pretty much never again. Cool. Any questions on the top section of TradingView before we continue? Oh, one last thing that I forgot. The little icon here, this is pretty much just your section. So like you can see your billing, your account, your profile, if you want to change stuff up, so on and so forth. Any questions on that before we continue? On the previous screen, how do you put all those lines on the chart? Do you mean these lines? Like these lines? Like, do you mean these drawed lines, or do you mean where is it? I think it was scale and lines. Was it canvas? Do you mean like the grid lines like this? Like these lines? All right, two different things were said. All right, gotcha. So not the grid lines, you mean these blue lines that I have here. If you mean these blue lines are just drawings that I have, which we're going to go over next. For the individual who asked me about the custom SATI ATR, I just customized this myself and removed the code that had the additional calls above and puts below because I already have my level. Let me post it in the chat so you guys have it there. And I'll also post it in the description of this video for those who may be watching the replay on YouTube. So you guys have it there. How do I bring my top row back after maximizing my screen? You just hit escape. So if you're in it, just hit escape and then it'll bring everything back. So just hit escape and it'll bring everything back to view. Any other questions before we continue? All right, looks like we're good. So next section is going to be the left side of the chart. This is pretty much going to be where most of your drawing tools or all of your drawing tools are going to be, so you can mark up your chart. Starting from the top, we have our little, our cursor, and you can make this whatever you want. You can make it a cross like I have. You can make it an arrow, dot, so on and so forth, whatever you prefer. Next section is going to be where you're going to be drawing your lines. So all different line tools are going to be set up here. Something to note, if you're using a regular trend line like this, you can just click any point on the chart. Let's go on the 1 hour. And, just draw your line. And then that's pretty much it. You have it drawn on your chart. Well, you can click on the line and then you can right click on it and you can customize the settings. So if you wanted to say anything on it, like, I don't know, upper trend line, whatever it may be. And you can set it so it appears on different sections of the drawing. So if you want it in the center, if you want it in the left, if you want it to be in the middle, like this, I don't really like the middle. You could do it on the top. Pretty much customize it to whatever you want. Where it says trend line up here, you can also name whatever it is. So trend line 1 or trend line 2 or whatever it may be. So in the object tree, when we go over that later, it's easier to find. So we'll do trend line test and we can keep that there. And in the style, you can pretty much set it up to whatever color you want, how thick you want the lines to be, what type of line you want it to be, dotted, dashed, a flat line, pretty much whatever it is that you're looking for. If you want it to be an arrow as opposed to a just a straight line like I had it. Easy stuff. The different tools here, keep in mind, they'll be used for different things, at least to make your life a lot easier. Obviously, if we're using broadening formations for those who trade the strat, it's going to be a little challenging for you to see broadening formations a month later if you're just drawing a trend line manually like this. So I personally just like to use the ray tool. That way it just takes this line to the right side to infinity. It just goes forever. Keep things simple. And yeah, there's the horizontal tool, horizontal line if you wanted to just mark off that level to the left and right side. The horizontal ray is just it's one direction, so left or right, whatever you customize it for. And as we saw here with that little line, we can highlight and just click add text, and it can just quickly just type on the chart, whatever it is that you want. Next section, this is for fib tools, GAN box, for those who use that. So for those who use fibs, you can just click on your chart, get the levels that you want to draw it from, and then just place them on your chart. And then you can right click on the box, go to settings, and then you can just customize your specific fib levels, the colors, all that good stuff. I would show you guys a settings box, but I have specific settings that I can't show you guys, unfortunately. And then the next section is like for people who use Elliott waves, patterns, things like that. I've never used this, but good to know where it's at. That's the fourth one from the top. The fifth one, I tend to use this a lot when I'm holding classes and going over trades with you guys. So when you're like, oh, how do you put that cool indicator or drawing that shows the profit target and the risk reward? That's pretty much this tool over here. The long position, or if you're short, the short position. You can also do price ranges. So if you want to see how much SPY was, how much it moved, or Apple from down here to this high. So from that range, Apple just moved $2.36 or 1.5% or 1.05% from that candle to the top of that candle. And then the next section is just your drawing tool. So if you want to like draw stuff on the chart with the brush, you can highlight different things, place arrows, and there's a bunch of different things that you can use here. I tend to use the arrows a lot when I'm showing different things, and I use the rectangle a lot, as we can see here. You can just highlight a specific section. Same thing, just right click on it, settings, and just adjust your settings and colors to whatever it is that you're looking for. And yeah, a bunch of different tools here that you can use to mark up your chart. Next section, again, pretty straightforward. This is just for texts. You can make little comments and kind of just make it however you want. If it's just a regular text, when it's on the chart, you can click on it, or rather before you click on it, you can press and hold and just move it around to whatever it is that you're looking for. You can right click on it, settings, and it'll bring up this so you can make it larger, you can bold it, italicize it, pretty much whatever you want. You can have it have a border, background, all that good stuff. When you also click on the text, it'll bring up this little box right here as like a quick box to quickly bring up the settings that you have. If you want to delete it, just click on it and hit the little trash icon, or just click on it and just hit delete on your keyboard. And there's different ones here that you can use. You can even paste images in here with the little image thing there. Next one, I maybe used this like once to test it out, but this is just if you want to like put emojis on your chart. I guess if you want to trade, yay, happy, whatever it may be. But yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. This next one here is the ruler. I tend to use this when I want to see how much something moved. So let's say if I want to look at, let's get rid of that for now. Let's say if I want to, if I'm going to take this 2 down, 2 up reversal, and I want to see how much Apple is going to move from this level to the target, I might just use my ruler, snap it to the top of this wick, to the top of this. So now I have my quick levels. All right, it's going to move $1.30 if it does go to my first target. And if I get stopped out, it's going to move 62 cents against me, or wherever your stop loss may be. If you want your drawings to snap to either the bodies or the wicks of candle, if you're using a MacBook, you can just hold left command when you have a drawing set, and it's going to snap to the wick or the body, whatever you have set up. You see the little icon turning off and on? That's me pressing the button. So if I don't have it on, I kind of have to like be a surgeon and get the exact price and kind of figure out exactly where it's going to stop. Or make your life easier, turn on the magnet, it's going to snap exactly at the body. And if I want it exactly at the wick, and then I have it set up right there to the wick, to the body. Easy stuff. You can also keep it on permanently if you want to. Whatever you prefer when you're drawing. Yeah, for those who use Windows, it's left control to turn that on. And then right under it, this is the zoom in. If you want to zoom in on the chart, and then you just highlight a specific section. This is more so how Thinkorswim functions, which I hate. I love the way on TradingView it's just so easy and simple to use on the chart. But yeah, if you want to zoom in or zoom out on a specific section, whatever it may be that you're looking for. Like I mentioned, the magnet, I already went over that. Right here, this is if you want to just stay in drawing mode. So let's say if I draw something and I click it, it doesn't keep me in that specific drawing that I was in if I want to draw more. So if you want to draw multiple things without having to click back on that drawing, just make sure you click on stay in drawing mode, and then I can put a bunch of lines without having to go back and turn the line back on. Right here, this will lock all the drawings. So if I, let's say, draw this and then I lock all the drawings, if I accidentally click on it and like, let's say, move my screen, it's not going to move the drawing by mistake. And then you forget where you drew it at. So you can do this if you tend to move your drawings around by mistake. Yeah, drawing mode is definitely good when you're drawing your broader informations, 100%. And then this right over here, just little quick hide feature if you want to just hide your indicators and your drawings pretty quickly with this right over there. And you can customize that however you want. Pretty straightforward. The trash icon, you'll click on that and then just remove whatever object or drawing you're trying to remove, whether it's an indicator, drawing, so on and so forth. The little star icon is a favorites box that we can see up here that populates. So let's say if you have very specific tools that you love to use, you can just keep it on the chart so you don't have to look through all these things here. So if I want, let's say, the long position and the short position, and I don't want to always like, all right, let me go here, then let me click on it and then draw it. I could just turn on my favorites and it'll be right here. So boom, draw that. I want to highlight an area, have that all set up and quickly and ready to go right there. Remember, we want to make our trading platform and our charting platform as efficient as possible. We don't want to spend too much time fiddling around looking for things. We want to just make it easy and quick to access because when we're trading, time is of the essence. Any questions on this section before we continue? Was that clear? Anything you want me to re-go over in that section? Projections? Projections I've never used, but we'll figure it out together. Where was that? I think it was, what tool was that? Projection. Yeah, this tool I've never ever used, so I can't really tell you about it and what it really means. Forecast. Let's see what this is. Oh, this is easy. The forecast will just tell you so if you anchor it to this level right here, and let's say you click it up here, it's going to tell you that how much Apple's going to increase by, the percentage, and essentially where the price is going to be. Here it says failure because that means Apple did not hit that price by the date that we chose. So if I set it up here, it's still not a failure because Apple hasn't hit this price yet, and we're not on that day yet. If I do this like this, it's a success because I successfully projected that it will hit this price on this date, as we can see here. That's pretty much what the projection is. So let's say if I want to set that up here, and then I'll just see was that on the 4th, was it Wednesday? on Wednesday, or no, yeah, Wednesday, if it's going to hit that price on this day by that time. That's pretty much what the projection or the forecast is. Cool. All right, next section. Right down here, and also near this Tradingview icon, this is where the time is and the date. So when you highlight on the chart, it's going to tell you the date and the specific time interval that you're on. So right now I'm highlighted over the 1:30 candle on Wednesday, August 28th of 2024. And then right down here, this is just going to show you the interval. So if I'm on the 30-minute up here, let's say I only want to look at 1 month worth of 1 hour charts or the 1 hour candles. I can just click on 1 month. Now this is 1 month of 30-minute candles from now. If I want to see, let's say, only 5 days of 5-minute candles, then this is what I have here. And there's a way, let's see. I don't usually use this often since I just usually go back and forth. But essentially, it's going to show you the specific intervals that it has here. And then you just switch it to whatever you want. Right down here, the stock screener. So if you like to screen for different settings, whatever that may be, let's say you want to look for, let's go to performance. Let's say you want to look for something, you can go to your filters. When you're on the stock screener, go to the filters, and then you're going to input your criteria, whatever you're looking for. If you want volume to be less than 500K on that day. And then let's refresh that. Average volume, let's do less than a mil. Let's do less than 500. Market cap, less than 300. And then it'll just show up here and whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever you're screening for. I haven't used this since my penny stock days, so I can't necessarily tell you how you would program things specifically, since I don't trade that anymore and I don't really use this basically at all. But yeah, pretty straightforward. This is where you would look for specific things. Extended hours is going to show you for specific movements, pre-market or after hours, if you're looking for specific criteria. Again, I don't use this, but you can just adjust it for everything that you're looking for right over here. If you just want technicals, change percent, let's say if something moves up 20%, so it'll come up on your screener and it'll be here. So from there, after the screener, it'll have one for stocks, for Forex and cryptos, if you're looking for specific things on specific markets. The next section is the editor. So right here, this is going to be where your whatever indicator you're using is going to have a code. If the indicator is public, you can see it. If it's private, you're not going to be able to see it here. You can add to chart. You can open up different scripts that you have. You can create a new script if you want to code one yourself, so on and so forth. If you want to share it with other people, make it public, you can publish it. Just keep in mind to publish, I believe you need to have a premium subscription, so keep that in mind. Strategy tester, this can be like a back tester. Basically, you just input the criteria for your strategy, and it'll give you different setups or different results. So let's say, I don't know what this is, but we'll use it as an example. And let's see, go to settings, properties. Let's say we want to start off at $1,000 and then we want to use 2 contracts and inputs, say 30, then okay. And then it'll just give you data based on whatever you input. So whatever strategy this is, it has a profit factor of 1.1%. And how far back did I go? Was that 30 bars? So I guess 30 bars of the 5 minute, whatever this thing is, you would have made almost 6% on the account. Performance. And I'll give you more information here, how many contracts you had, so on and so forth, to see if your strategy is profitable. I don't use this at all. I don't know how you can input this using the Strat or even ICT stuff. If you can, shout out to you. But essentially, once you put the strategy tester, it'll show up on the chart. So it'll tell you when you're going to buy, how many you're going to buy, how much you're going to sell, X, Y, and Z. Again, I don't use this, so that's there. Let me move this over really quickly because I need to log out of this account so you guys don't see my account information. Give me 1 sec. All right, let's log out. All right, so if you are new to trading, I always highly recommend paper trading. So on the trading panel down here, this is where you're going to connect brokers to. So if you trade futures, if you trade stocks, crypto, Forex, etc. I heard you can trade options through Tradingview now. I just haven't been able to figure it out. Or maybe Webull, I haven't figured out how to use it. I know Interactive Brokers, if you use that, you can trade options on TradingView. I just don't know how to yet. I don't use it, so I can't really tell you on that. But if you use a prop firm or a futures broker, stock broker, whatever it may be, you can connect it directly to your TradingView chart and take your trades directly off of the chart. So let's see some examples. Let's connect paper trading account and let's go to Bitcoin since that's live. And let's just say, let's go to the 1 minute. Let's just say we want to go short below this level. Just right click on the screen, bring up the sell stop area, bring up the chart settings for the trade that you're looking for. You have your limit orders here, which I'll go over a little later on. And then we'll have that trade set up. So now I have a sell stop. So if it breaks below this level, it'll get me in. I can just, when you highlight over the trade screen or the little trade line, you can drag the stop loss to quickly just move it on your screen. And then modify the order. Well, it got me in, so bring that up there. If I want to take profit down here, modify that, and then you can quickly just drag and drop if you want to quickly move it around on your screen. Same thing for the stop loss and what have you. And then you'll see the trade on the screen live on whatever it is that you're trading. And you can customize it if you want this to be in percentage, in dollar value, in ticks, whatever it is that you prefer. And then down here again, the last little bits, this is just to open up the panel to bring it, to minimize it or expand it so you can see what's going on, what account you have set up, so on and so forth. You can see your account details here whenever you're logged into the specific broker, your account number, your account value, the position, so on and so forth. And then you can maximize the panel so you don't see any chart and you only see this down here. Cool. Any questions on that on the bottom section before we continue? How to quickly identify the difference between paper and real. So the way you know if you're paper trading, it's going to specifically say paper trading down here. If you're logged into your account, it's going to have the name of that broker that's set up there. So if you're just paper trading on TradingView, it's going to say paper trading. If you're logged into something else, it's going to say Tradevate, or it's going to say Webull or Moo or Owanda, whatever it is that you're using. So that's one way to quickly tell if you're paper trading or not. So to be clear, you stated that TradingView options can't be traded. Carlito, I heard that you can trade options, not like on TradingView through whatever broker that you use. I heard that if you use Webull, you can trade options directly on the chart. I have not figured out how to do that. I'm not sure if you can or can't. I know for interactive brokers, I've heard people say that you can trade options through TradingView. I just don't know how to do it. Yeah, you'll have to connect whatever trading platform you use to TradingView. Any other questions before we continue? Cool. Glad you're enjoying it. Everything making sense? Everything clear for you guys so far? Easy to understand? Sweet. All right. Next section is going to be the right side. So starting from the top, on the top right side, we have the watch list. So you have whatever watch lists you have here, whatever tickers you want, so on and so forth. So let's say I kind of have mine organized here to what I'm looking for specifically. So I have all the S&P sectors, so I can quickly see, all right, is oil up or down today? How's energy looking? How's finance is doing? So on and so forth. And once you bring up your watch list, let's go to let's make a new list. Training list. Save. So this is, let's say we're making a brand new list. We're going to click on the plus icon to bring up a ticker. So we got Apple. Let's say we also want to look at Tesla. Let's say we want to look at SPY as well. And then for the sake of the conversation, let's say we want to look at Bitcoin. And then you have everything pretty much set up here for Bitcoin or for the tickers that you made. What you can do as well is you can add a section to just clean up your list. I like to be organized. So let's say if I wanted a section for crypto, I can right click on the ticker. It's going to bring up this icon and these things here. So I can do add section. And then now I've added a section. So I can right click on the section or just click where it says section 1. And it's going to bring up the text box so I can put crypto. And then let's say I want to add a section that's ETFs. Oh, whoops. ETFs, and then make one that's just stocks. So now I have a cleaner and more organized list. So if I want to add something to crypto, I could just right click on crypto, add symbol. Let's say I want to look at XRP or whatever other cryptos you want. You can cleanly add it to your chart here and just keep everything organized so you're not all over the place. And then when you want to open up the list of everything that you have, you can just click up here, open list, and then it'll show you everything that you pretty much have listed there. As you can see, this is an old one when I was trading penny stocks. I had a billion different stocks on my list. Horrible. And you can share this with people. You can make a copy, send it to other people if they want to just quickly add it. Let's try this. Let's copy the link. I'm going to post it in 100K's group. So once you click on that list, you need to have premium though, and it'll add all of that to your list as well. It'll make a specific list just like mine, separate from yours. And then, like I mentioned, a little plus icon to add it. Advanced view, I've never necessarily used this because I don't really care to look at all the expansive data of it. I just quickly need to see what's going on. And it'll tell you here like the symbol distribution, if you have like futures, the specific websites that you're pulling data from, so on and so forth. Upcoming dividends, X, Y, and Z. Right down here, little settings icon, you kind of just customize it if you want the ticker to show, if you want the logo not to show, if you want extended hours data to be on. I don't really care about that personally. The description I don't like because that's just adding too much information that I don't want to see. Sarah, what group are you in, or did you get did you got the link from? Is it my group or another group? Moments group? Let me post that in there. I'm gonna post it in the trading floor channel. There we go. Yeah, so you have that in there too. All right, next section. We went over alerts earlier, but this is where you're gonna find all your alerts. The little icon here, and it's gonna show all your alerts that are set up here. You can filter this by when you created it or the ticker. You can also set it up to ones that are only active. So I only have 5 active alerts right now. Well, you can customize this to pretty much be all of them, active only, inactive, the current symbol that you're on, so on and so forth. And then you can just highlight over them if you want to pause it or if you want to just delete it from the list, just clean it up a bit. So inactive only. So all of these are inactive. I can just quickly, I wonder if I can do this. Ooh, I can delete all of them at the same time. Yep. Yeah. So you would click on one. If you're using a MacBook, left shift, hold that down, click again, and they'll highlight all of them from the first one to the last one that you clicked on. Remove, done. And then I think for Windows, it should be left Alt or left Control. I forget. I don't use this that often on my Windows computer. But pretty straightforward on the alert section. The object tree section, which is one of my favorite features of TradingView. This is going to show all your drawings and all your indicators and stuff that you have on the chart. So this is on Bitcoin right now. So let's say for those people who trade the strat, you can definitely tell that drawing broader informations can get crazy. So let's just say I want to organize it a bit, right? I can create folders, which I'll show you how in a bit, like this. So I have all my weekly BFs in one folder. So I can just quickly turn all of them off in one shot. Or if I want to, let's say, change the color for the weekly, I just go here, change the color to whatever I want, and all of them change to whatever color I selected. If you're one of the people who like to change them like that. So object tree, freaking love this. The greatest thing ever. I wish Thinkorswim had this. Like once Thinkorswim has this, then I would consider Thinkorswim the best platform. But for now, TradingView, object tree, I definitely miss it. So to create categories of different drawings or groups, let's just say for the sake of the conversation, let's go to the daily. Let's say I'm drawing daily broadening formations, whatever it may be. Let's hide everything else just to keep the chart clean. I'm going to get my ray tool. Let's say I do that there. And then let's just say, I don't know, I have this like over here, whatever that may be. So I'll put daily here where it says ray. I'm going to change that to daily. Just double click on it, bring up this list, daily. And now what I can do is I can just click or I can highlight both of them and write that little folder icon, create group of drawings. So now I have all of them in a group. And then I can name my group Daily BF or whatever it is that you want to name it. And then you can quickly just lock the screen, the line, so you don't move them around, and you can quickly hide them on the chart. Love that feature. Keeps everything super clean and organized. Next section is like my ideas. Those are like ideas that you've posted to TradingView so people can look at it. This is the chat. So if you want to talk to other people that use TradingView, you can talk to them there. If you have any private messages, it'll be in the private section. The ideas, this is just ideas that people post. So you can think of it just like as like the feed of people's ideas that they're posting there. Notifications, these would be notifications that the app might send you like, hey, we have a promotion or we have this new update or whatever it may be. It'll just bring this up really quickly. The bottom right is the screeners. So you can quickly bring up the screeners section that you have for whatever it is that you're looking for. Instead of clicking it from down here, this is the calendar. So it'll tell you all the calendar or economic data that's coming out. So if you don't want to look at Market Watch, Forex Factory, you can also reference this chart here. And I believe, unless it changed, remember there's a way to like alert yourself of it. Oh yeah, whoops, wrong one. So you have everything here for earnings and essentially the economic data if you want to quickly see what's going on that day. And then right under that, the help center, pretty straightforward. It's the help center. If you want to find a specific feature that you think they may have, just look it up and then it'll be there. Any support tickets that you've opened up, so on and so forth. Any questions on this specific section before I continue? How do I get the pane with the stock screener and the right pane with the watch list to show up on my screen? Ro, do you not have this on your screen over here? Like on the right side and on the bottom, you don't have these like this pane down here and this pane? Interesting. If anybody knows the answer, definitely let us know. Because I've always have seen that. I've never not seen it there. Send me a screenshot when you can, and I'll look at it. That's super weird. Any questions on the right side before we continue? Whoever is me said click the add button on the top right. You guys can still see my screen, right? Cool. All right, if there aren't any more questions on the right side, let's continue. So some cool features that I love about TradingView, just talking about like the chart and like little how to do things. If you want to quickly just move between charts, you just click and hold with your mouse and just move it around left and right to go through the things. If you have a scroll wheel on your mouse, you can just quickly scroll out. Or I guess in this case, if I'm using a MacBook, so it's kind of like reversed. But you can scroll in and out to expand or move everything closer or further away. You can zoom in. If you want to make the candles either shorter or wider, you just press and hold on the prices here, and then just move it up or down, and it'll make the candle smaller, or it'll make the candles bigger, whatever it is that you're looking to do. You can right click on the chart and it'll bring up this quick little list here, the object tree, chart template, settings of the chart, how you can customize it however you want. We went over that earlier. The trade, if you want to bring up a new order really quickly, and it'll bring up the DOM, or rather the order screen, and then the DOM is over here. So with the order screen, again, pretty straightforward. You can do this in several different ways. You can right click, you can hit trade, and then you can just quickly just at the price that you right clicked on, bring up the order screen at that level, and then just buy limit, and now I have a limit order sitting there. Or you can do market if you want to just get into the trade. If you want to sell out of your trade or reverse it, get out and sell. Let's say if you're in a trade and you want to quickly get out, you can quickly highlight over this little X button, close position, and then it'll close the position for you. For some brokers, to keep this in mind, because I learned this the other day because the one that I used to use didn't allow this for Tradingview. As we can see here, if I just get in it as a market order and I want to quickly set my take profit and stop loss, I just highlight over it and then just drag and drop wherever I want my take profit and my stop loss to be. Some brokers have this feature. Some do not. So for some, if you get into this trade, you cannot do this after you get into it. You have to do it as you're setting up the trade. In the sense of, if I'm getting in this trade, let's say this buy limit, let's actually do this again. So trade, buy limit, you have to turn on take profit and stop loss before you get in the trade. And then you will set that order there, and then you'll see where you can adjust this like this. For those who trade futures, I heard AMP, that brokerage, you can add it after the fact on TradingView. For Tradingview, for those who use that, in my experience, you cannot add it after you get into the trade. So just keep that in mind. So if you do that and you're already in the trade, you're gonna have to set up a manual stop loss, something like this. So this will be your manual stop loss if you get into this trade. Or if you want a manual take profit, you will do the sell limit like that because you didn't do it prior when you could just do this. So just keep that in mind. Also, if it hits your stop loss, you need to cancel the other order because if not, that's a separate order from the other ones. So just keep that in mind when you are placing trades. Some brokers allow different features in the trade order screen when it comes up. So like for Bitcoin, for paper trading, I just have market, limit, and stop. I've heard that some of them have trailing stop now, which is cool, but I don't really use that. But for whoever does, you have that there. And when you have your take profit and stop loss, whatever it is that you're trading, you can just put it in whatever increments you want. If you're like, all right, I want to make $200, or I don't want to lose $100, you can set your take profit and stop loss like that if you want to, pretty much however you want. Instead of doing the price or the ticks or whatever it may be. If you want the time in force, this is going to be essentially how long the trade is going to be valid. So if you want the trade to only be there for, let's say, 1 day, you would just do the day. I'm not sure what GTD means. I know what GTC means, but generally GTC would be good till canceled. So it's good until you cancel it, or if the broker cancels it, whichever one comes first. Or actually, I just realized what that means. So I guess good till determined, and then you determine when you want that trade to be canceled if it's pending. If it's just a day, it's not going to have that. Because so here you're determining when you want that to be canceled by the system. DOM, I don't really use this, but pretty much what it is you can quickly take your trades from here. So let's see, let's go, where's the current price? Can I reset this? There we go. This little icon here should take us to the current price. So let's say I want to put a sell up here, send that, then I have a sell waiting there. And then price is wherever price is. Can I make this? These increments are horrible. The CXL all, that just means cancel everything for the specific ticker that you're on. And right here, we can see that we're in the trade. It's going to tell me how much I'm up or down, what price I'm in at, how many contracts I have. Flatten means that it's going to cancel everything. It's going to close out my position and it's going to cancel any pending orders that I have. Reverse is just going to reverse this trade. So instead of being short, it's going to close it and then it's going to buy long. So now I'm long instead of short. And then flatten, close everything out. Cool. Any questions that you guys have on that, on the order screen? Also, as you guys are asking those questions, if you're trying to move like up or down on a chart and it's kind of stuck, you have to just move this a little bit and then it'll like unlock and then you can move it around like this. So just keep that in mind. If your screen is ever stuck from going up or down and it's just stuck sideways, just move this up or down. You can move around. Cool. The last thing that I'll mention that I forgot to mention, when you highlight over a candle, as we can see right up here, this will just tell you the open price, the high of the candle, the low of the candle, the close of the candle, and then the change. So you can quickly just highlight over it and it'll give you those prices. I think that's pretty much it on my end, trading wise, or for the training. So any question that you guys have, yeah, it could be general questions, all that stuff. Now's the time to ask. My training portion is over, so any questions you guys have, feel free to type it in the chat, come off mute, all that good stuff. I see some questions now, so I'll go over them. How to switch between options data and stock data in TradingView. That I'm not too sure. The only thing I can think of something that I saw earlier is, right, well, these are bonds. Let's click on the options tab. Show me. Yes, it looks like, well, there's no options listed here. Let me, actually, that's not going to work because I have to log back in. If there is a section that's going to show you the options and the stock, you just click on the options tab specifically. So what you can do is, if you have premium, you can, let's say, have two charts like this. You can have Apple on one side, and then you can have Apple options in listed there. So then you can have the options chart here, and then the actual stock chart there. Again, I haven't been able to figure that out, so I can't really say 100% if that's true or not. More of a general question. What would you say is pro versus con of TradingView desktop versus online version? Um, I guess it would depend. To me, it's the same exact thing. Same features, same layout, same everything. It just might be more taxing on your computer, depending how you set it up and what browser you use. Like if you use, like, let's say Chrome, it might be more intensive on your computer than just using the desktop. For me, they're basically both the same thing. I just prefer to use the desktop because if I accidentally close my browser, I'm closing my charts by mistake, which I've done before. So I like to have it separated. Is there a way to see the ticker's current volume of shares being traded like on desktop? Uh, can you give me an example, Phil? Like where's, like, I don't use volume, so I can't necessarily tell you. Let's see. There we go. You should be able to unmute yourself now. Does desktop view apply when using a laptop as well? Yeah, as far as I know. I'm using a laptop right now to run this. I'm not on my regular computer. Desktop in this context will be more so like the program itself as opposed to like the actual website. Or like if you're loading up TradingView on your browser or your internet browser. Somebody asked me about the Strat scanner and what it does. Pretty much what this indicator does is whatever time frame I'm on, if it lights up here, it's letting me know that that setup is currently valid. It's currently there on that time frame. So if I go on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that nothing is lit up because there's none of these set up. 3-1, 2-1, double inside, triple inside, hammer, shooter, none of that is set up there. If I go to, let's say, 30-minute here, let's go to the 5-minute or the daily. So Bitcoin, the 2-1 is lit up because we have a 2-1 on that time frame. And so on and so forth. And you can pretty much customize this to whatever you want. So you can add more tickers to it. If you want more items, you can customize how it looks, so on and so forth. Is this a paid scanner? For those who are not in my group, it's a paid scanner since my friend made it for me. For those who are not in my group, I can post it in the chat if you guys want to check it out. You'll support the creator, not me, because my buddy made this for me. Yes, I have a group. Where is that link? I also put the link for it in the description of this video when I replay it. But there's the link in the meantime. I posted in the Zoom chat. How do you join my group? You join my group by using this link that I just posted as well. Is your group different from 100K? Yeah, my group is different from 100K. If you want to ask me about it, we can do it offline, just so no toes are stepped on, because I'm not here to bring people to my group. I'm just here to train you guys. If you want to ask me questions like that, send me a direct message. So, questions, everyone, on the training today? Anything you want to go back over on the chart? Any features, anything like that? Or was everything clear?
Yeah, just real quick.
Oh, there.
Yeah, what's up, bro? How are you? Thanks for holding this training, by the way.
Absolutely, Phil.
All right, so on the bottom right side of Tradingview, when you don't make the screen full screen, on the right side where it shows like the low of the day and the high of the day, it shows like the volume of shares being traded. Like it'll say current volume, and it usually starts somewhere in the hundreds of thousands. But I usually won't trade until I see 1 million in volume, like 1 million shares being traded. So can I see that on my phone as well?
On your phone, that's a great question. You may need to add it on the chart. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it, because I don't use it on my phone like that. I just take screenshots and show people stuff. I'm bringing mine up right now and see if we can add that on. Let's go to chart settings. So what you can do, so similar to the desktop version, let's say on the desktop, you right click, go to settings, status line, volume, make sure that's on. It'll show you the volume for the current bar that you're on. In your case, if you are on, what do you call it? If you're on mobile, you just have to highlight the screen. So what you're going to do is on mobile, on the bottom right, click the three little lines. And then once you click on the three little lines, it's going to say chart settings. After you click on chart settings, you're going to make sure that you go back to the overall chart settings list and click on status line. And then you're going to click on volume. And then that way, when you're highlighting a candle on whatever time frame you're on, it's going to show you the volume for that candle.
That's lit. That's actually really good information. Thank you for that.
Of course. Sarah, if you know me on Discord, send me a direct message there. Not on the Zoom chat, because when this is done, the chat's going to disappear. So if you know me on Discord or anywhere else that you know me, just send me a message there. It's just easier for me to refer back to it later on. All right, so one last thing that I completely forgot to mention that I always get questions about. People like, hey, how do I go to extended data? Or why are my time frames weird or looking different than you guys? On the bottom right of your chart's little hexagon icon, click on this. It's going to bring up this list of items. The session, the regular trading hours, is just the New York trading session. If you want to look at pre-market data, you need to have extended trading hours set up. So now I'm looking at pre-market data and after hours. So I have it set up for mine. So whatever's highlighted is pre-market or after hours, and whatever is not highlighted is the New York session. So you can quickly just go back and forth between the two. All right. Any other questions that you guys have, or any features that you want to go over that wasn't clear? Hey, Ro, I'm looking at your screenshot. This is super weird. I've literally never seen that before. I would probably reach out to TradingView to see exactly what it is on why it's not showing up. Yeah, that's definitely weird. I wonder what it could be. Let me see. I'm looking at your screenshot. Everything is a little condensed or zoomed in, so that could be a thing too. But yeah, I'll definitely reach out to them and just double check like what you need to enable specifically, because it looks like a lot of your a lot of your chart is not as expansive as mine. It's like really squished up. Let me know what they end up saying. That would be interesting to know. All right, so if there are no questions, what was everybody's biggest takeaway? What was the biggest thing that you learned today? Type it in the chat. Do I provide live tradings? Like if I trade live, it's very, very rare when I trade live. I get distracted and people ask me a million questions, which takes away from my trading. So it's very, very rare that I'll live trade. I might live trade tomorrow on YouTube. That's more so for people who trade futures. But besides tomorrow, like every now and then I'll live trade, but not often. I get too distracted and I love talking. Definitely the camera feature versus taking a picture. Super big pet peeve of mine. I'm like, please just take a screenshot like you're on the computer already. Yeah, definitely, Phil. You know, that as the more information we have to help out with trading, that can help a lot. I've been using TradingView for 2 years and had no idea you can sync layouts. Yeah, man, definitely can. My second mentor, the biggest thing he ever told me, or mainly the biggest lesson, besides option spreads, is he always told me learn your broker, your trading platform inside and out. You need to know all of its features to make your trading as efficient as possible. So messing around with things, figuring things out, gonna help a lot. Phil, ask me that question in the group and I'll respond back. It's just not relevant to today's class, so I'm not gonna mention that in here today. Learn how to navigate your trading view. Cool. You've been using it for about 2 years, and this class was helpful. I'm glad the class was helpful. Indicators, ray lines, Strat Assistant, disabling every time on alert. Yeah, you don't want to get a billion notifications in 2 seconds. Yeah, definitely. Any other big takeaways or anything else that you guys want to go over before we wrap up? For those who don't know, my YouTube channel is Cerulean Mind Academy. You can look me up there. You can subscribe, follow. I appreciate all of it. And this replay is going to be put on my YouTube channel. I'll also post it in the chat of all the groups as well. Oh, yeah. Ayo mentioned a good thing to note. Take time to study the keyboard shortcuts, because if you mess up, it could be pretty bad for you. He mentioned like Shift S or Shift B is to market sell or market buy. That can be very detrimental for your trading. So option W closes you out. So things like that, make sure you're paying attention to what you're pressing, because you don't want to be in a trade that's negative and it didn't even hit your stop loss, and then you get stopped out prematurely and then you're upset. So learn the shortcuts. Super important. The other day, I mistakenly bought 10 contract of SPX 10 minutes to close. Ooh, so yeah, I would have gotten scared for that. Are there any indicators for gap fills? Great question, Sierra. I'm not sure. I know there's a weekly opening gaps. There's like a gap one here. I'm just not sure which one it is. I haven't really used these. I'm sure there is somewhere. Yeah, definitely good that you caught it early. As long as you didn't do what my first mentor did, which everybody here I'm sure has done, where you, um, well, this is mainly for regular stocks or futures. If you bought instead of went short, my first mentor, he told me the story where he uh he went to sell 100,000 shares. He accidentally bought 100,000 shares more, and in that mistake cost him about $40,000 in about 2 minutes that he lost. Needless to say, he didn't fat finger a trade after that. So always pay attention to what you're doing. All right. So we'll stay on for another 2-3 minutes. Any other questions that you guys have? If not, we'll wrap up and enjoy our Saturday. We'll be here for 3 more minutes and then we'll wrap up. Sam mentioned for you guys, if you make your own script, you can limit the amount of alerts that the script gives you. Thanks, Sam. Cool. Let's see. Don't see any other questions in the chat. For those who do have questions for me, can you please share how to view the volume once again? Yes. So there's different ways. You can either use the volume indicator, that is just standard, just volume. If you want to see the volume up here, like how I have it there, you can just right click, hit settings, or hit settings up here where it says chart settings. Go to status line. This is the status line right up here, right up there. And then just turn off or on volume. Of course. TV, TradingView has a scanner too. A scanner in what sense? Like what type of scanner? It has a lot of screeners, which can be like scanners, yeah, like the stock screener, the Forex screener, crypto screener, stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, Strat setups. I know somebody made one. I'm just not sure who. This one that I'm using here, my buddy made it for me. So instead of going through each and every single stock and looking for the setup on that time frame, I just go to the weekly. All right, cool. There's a hammer on oil, apparently. It's picking up last week's hammer for whatever reason. Interesting. It might be the time frame that I got to switch to. So ES, hammer on the weekly, so it's lit up, it's green. So now for next week, if it breaks above that high, I'm thinking bullish for a little bit of September. Actually, let me not start talking about analysis right now. I'll just keep it there. But yeah, my buddy made this for me. The Harvard. All right. Before I start talking about irrelevant things of this class, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you guys again. I'm going to upload this probably in the next hour, hour and a half. So if you already follow me on YouTube, you'll see the notification. If not, I'm also gonna post it in all the groups, in all the group chats, so you guys can see it and get the direct link. Other than that, for whoever's gonna message me, send me a DM on Discord or Instagram or Reddit or wherever you know me from, whatever group, and let me know, and we'll talk. Other than that, thank you guys so much for coming out, answering your questions, and listening to me talk. And I will see you guys on the internet. Have a good weekend.